So this just came in the mail today. No, it really didn't. It's been here and I've been trying to get some time to actually do a review on it. Anyway, it's a Yamaha Trumpet Mouthpiece and the model is the 14A4A. So let's take a look at it, shall we? Yamaha does a great job of their packaging, as you've seen in other videos. So let's see if I can unbox this thing. Like the previous ones we've seen, Yamaha puts their mouthpieces in this little, I don't know, what do you call it, a caddy, to support their mouthpieces when they ship them. So that means you get it from wherever you're getting it, it doesn't bounce around and doesn't, bang it up or bend things. So it's all nice and pretty and wrapped safely in plastic. So this 14A4A is modeled after the legendary Schilke 14A4A. That thing has been around forever. I took the liberty of cutting the plastic this time so I don't struggle so much to pull it out of its safety wrapper. And like all brand new mouthpieces, this thing is just so pretty and shiny. So let's see if we can see that 14A4A. So very pretty. The rim shape is nice and rounded, like many of the Yamaha mouthpieces that we've seen already, the Shew Jazz and the Shew Lead. So the feel of this is probably going to be very similar. So the Schilke 14A4A has been around for, gosh, decades. In fact, I've got let's leave that here. I've got one that I will put in my left hand, and let's see if I can do this with my right hand without breaking anything. Okay, so we've got the Schilke 14A4A, and I took the liberty of actually cleaning this a little bit because it was pretty disgusting before. So if we compare the two, the noticeable difference is the cup or rim diameter is different. On the Schilke, it's 17.09 millimeters, and on the 14A4A by Yamaha, it's 16.68. Now, the numbering system, 14, is supposed to reference the rim or cup diameter, and as you can clearly tell, it's it's visibly different between these two models, even though their number is the same. So that's the 14, that's the first number, right? So the A is supposed to talk about the cup shape, right? So if we look at the cup shape, Yamaha calls this their shallow or smallest cup, as is the A for the Schilke. And if you look, they they probably feel pretty much the same, right? I mean, they're both very, very shallow cupped mouthpieces. But yeah, the cup, the A letter, is very different in terms of what people talk about in terms of the different mouthpieces. So will they feel the same? That's a good question. So that's the first A. Now the next character is the number 4. So 14 was the cup or rim diameter, A was the cup shape. 4 is supposed to talk about the rim shape. So Schilkes are all, they call them semi-flat, right? So if you compare the two, you can see that inner rim shape here. It's a little more flatter. You're going to feel a little bit more of this inner rim against your embouchure or your lips. Some people call that the bite of the mouthpiece. Or if you look at the Yamaha, it's much more rounded in comparison to the Schilke 14A4A. It's neither good or bad. It's just what will feel good for you. Some people, again, because these are both lead trumpet mouthpieces, like the flatter shape because it kind of spreads the pressure out over your face or your lips. where this one has it tapers off, falls off a little bit quicker than the Schilke, as you can see there. And some people like that more. And they also like the inner rim being a little softer, more rounded than the Schilke, because that allows their embouchure to move more easily within the mouthpiece as well. So the last letter is the letter A. And this talks about the back bore of the mouthpieces. So the back bore is, this part. That's not a thing inside there. It's just, I think, a little droplet of water. Because I tried to clean this guy because it was pretty disgusting. Anyway, so the A is talks about the back bore, or how fast the mouthpiece opens. So with that white paper in there, you can actually see the rate of opening is actually, seems like it's a little bit faster on the Yamaha. Like it opens up a little bit sooner than the Schilke, where it seems to be tighter almost up until it gets to about here, and then it champers and it opens up right away. Now, granted, the thickness of this one is a little bit thicker than that, but yeah, you can actually see that the Yamaha, even though it's A or the very narrow or tight back bar, like the Schilke, it looks like it opens up a little bit quicker. Now, what I couldn't find is any description of the throat size. The throat size on the Yamaha, which is on my right, is 3.65 millimeters. Seems just a little bit smaller than the, let's see if we get a little bit closer. Oops. Yeah, it seems a little bit, well, now that I get this close, they almost look the same. The difference I do see is Yamaha's, the entrance to the throat. They bevel it a little bit more than the Schilke, which has much sharper edge here. So that's one difference. So again, the tight back bores will give you a little bit more resistance that will support your upper register playing, which is exactly what these are designed for. So these mouthpieces have 4 letters, but you're probably going, wait a minute, I've got a 7C. So 7 refers to the breadth across here, and the C refers to the cup shape. So the rest of the things that we talked about, the rim shape and the back bore, would be considered standard for those mouthpieces, whatever standard actually means for mouthpieces. You can tell there really are no standards. I mean, other than within a line, like within Yamaha's mouthpieces, they'll be fairly consistent. So if you look at this mouthpiece, which is the Yamaha Bobby Shew Lead, they compared their lead mouthpiece to the 14A4A. Let me put one of these down. So how does the lead compare to the 14A4A? From an outside perspective, if you look at the outer rim shape, that's very similar. If you look at the inner rim shape, that looks very, very similar. See, there's nice roundedness on the inner rim. The flatness of the rim seems also fairly consistent, and the breadth of the rim, that shape seems consistent. And if we look at the cups, wow, they also look very, very similar. And in terms of the throat, both seem to open pretty quickly. It looks like the Bobby Shew actually opens up a little bit faster, maybe. Let's see if we can see. Okay, there's a big difference, right? So let me try to do that so you can see them equally well. There. You can tell the 14A4A, the throat is actually a little bit bigger. The throat size is 3.65 and it's 3.56 on the lead. The Bobby Shew Jazz that we did a comparison with the lead on, not we, I, has a very different size, right? It has a this is 3.56, that is 3.65, and you can actually see it now that I've got this little white box down there. And the throats, excuse me, the back bores, other than this one being a little tarnished, look pretty similar too, in terms of the way they open up and how quickly they open up. So within manufacturers, you're going to find some nice consistencies. So this is the Bobby Shew Lead that compares very similarly to the 14A4A. So if you're looking for a lead mouthpiece and you think you may want a little more support for the upper register, the Lead might be a better choice. Both are going to be very bright. Both are going to be excel at the upper register because that's, again, what these are designed to do. But the Bobby Shew Lead has a little tighter throat at 3.56 versus 3.65 of the 14A4A. Let's take a look at what another Schilke looks like. So this is the 14A4A, and this is what is this? It's an 8.4A, 8A4. So its back bore is quote unquote standard. Now I didn't clean this one, so I don't know if we're going to even be able to see what that looks like. Wow, yeah, the 14A4A on my right does appear a little bit more narrower, and then it flares open right at the end. Not as much more dramatically. You see how it does open up quite quicker than the what I'm holding, an 8A4. The other things that are consistent are the rim shapes. If you look, the outer rims seem to be fairly similar. The flatness, the broadness of the rim seems to be very similar. The A cup shape is also very similar between these two mouthpieces. Where the big difference is between this 14A4A by Schilke and this 8A4 is the rim or cup diameter, right? You can see the size difference here, where this one's going to have far less of your lips being able to vibrate inside the mouthpiece itself. So that's the Yamaha 14A4A. I've got another mouthpiece. It's a Dennis Wick 4E that I've got to review. And a thing to note, these aren't sponsored in any way. I actually have to pay full price for these babies. They're all very pretty, and they look nice sitting on a shelf. But remember, when you're looking at and evaluating trumpet mouthpieces, your face, your embouchure, the muscles in your face are very different than anyone else's. The way your teeth are shaped, how you set your jaw in your embouchure, all of these things are going to make a big difference on what this is going to feel like on your face, and if it's going to support your playing or if it's actually going to hold you back in some way. So again, what works for someone else may not work for you, and what works for you may not work for them. So just remember that as you're looking at different mouthpieces. I'm just trying to just give you some perspectives on what these things look like. I don't play them because it doesn't matter what it sounds like if I buzz on them or play with them, because again, my face is very different than yours. So hope this gives you some perspectives on this Yamaha 14A4A, how it might compare to the Shew Lead mouthpiece. Hope it helps. Thanks for playing along.